Hi, fifth graders. Today's topics are dividing fractions with mixed numbers, word problems, evaluating numerical expressions, and then we're going to evaluate numerical expressions with parentheses. So first, we're going to be dividing with mixed numbers, dividing fractions with mixed numbers. It's a little bit of a review of last week. So number 4 gives us 1 and 3/4 divided by 1/4. So it's going to be easier for us to turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. So that's what we're going to do. So 1 and 3/4. In order to turn it into an improper fraction, what we need to do is we're gonna multiply 4 and 1, and then we're gonna add that product with 3. So 4 times 1 is 4, 4 plus 3 is 7. So our improper fraction will be 7/4. Now with this improper fraction, we're going to divide it by 1/4. And the way to divide, we're going to leave the dividend as is. So we're going to leave 7/4 as is. But we're going to turn this division sign into a multiplication sign. And then we're going to find a reciprocal of 1/4, which is just 4/1. Now with this, we're going to multiply across. But in our case, we can cross simplify first because 4 and 4, they can simplify. So this 4 turns into a 1 and this 4 turns into a 1. So your answer will be 7/1. So your answer for number 4 will be 7/1 or just 7. So when you're doing division with fractions in general, just make sure that you remember to turn the division sign into multiplication and that you flip your fraction around. Now we're gonna do a word problem. Number 3 says Spencer ran 4 and 1/5 miles around the track. Each lap is 3/5 of a mile. How many laps did Spencer run? So it says that Spencer ran 4 and 1/5 of a mile around the track. So we're gonna have to turn this 4 and 1/5 into an improper fraction, which is 21/5, right? And that's the total amount in miles that he ran. And he says that each lap is 3/5 of a mile. So in order to find out how many laps Spencer ran in total, we're going to have to divide the total number of miles by the amount of miles that one lap is. So in order to do that, I'm going to turn the division sign into a multiplication sign. And then the opposite of 3/5 is going to be 5/3, right? Once again, I'm going to multiply, but before I do that, I'm going to make sure that everything is simplified. And as we see here, 5 and 5 can both turn into 1s. This 3 can turn into a 1, and this 21 can turn into a 7. Now we can multiply across, and we get 7/1, which is the same thing as just 7. So, our answer would not be 7 though, because once again, this is a word problem. So we're gonna have to put units, and in this case, it's gonna be laps, because we're finding the total number of laps that Spencer ran. So it'll be 7 laps, and that'll be your final answer. Next, we're going to be evaluating numerical expressions. So this is, we're going back to basically PEMDAS. So remember that it's parentheses, let's write it down actually. So it's parentheses, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So you need to remember that order. And in these, we don't see any parentheses or exponents, so we're going to put that aside. Once again, when it comes to multiplication and division, when they're right next to each other, it's best to just go from left to right. Same for when addition and subtraction are right next to each other. With that in mind, we're going to do number 8 together. Number 8 only gives us multiplication and division. and they're right next to each other, so we're just going to go from left to right. 9 times 2 is 18, divided by 2, divided by 9. 18 divided by 2, that gives us 9. 9 divided by 9 gives us 1. That will be our final answer. So once again, in order to do this worksheet, you need to remember your PEMDAS rules. Next, we're going to be moving on. We're basically doing the same thing, but in this one, we have parentheses. So once again, in PEMDAS, parentheses comes first, so that's what we're going to do. 11 plus 13, that will give us 24. So let's write this equation again. So it's 18 plus 19 minus 24 divided by 4. So in this case, we still have a division left, which comes right before addition. So that's what we're going to simplify first. So 24 divided by 4 gives us 6. So I'm going to write that down, and then I'm going to rewrite the equation. So 18 plus 19 minus 6. Now we see here that we have addition and subtraction right next to each other. So we're just going to go left to right. So 18 plus 19 gives us 37. And then 37 minus 6, that gives us 31. So our final answer for number 10 will be 31. So when you're doing the last two worksheets, just remember your PEMDAS rules, and that when multiplication and division, when it's just multiplication and division or just addition and subtraction, you just go from left to right. Okay, and when you're dividing fractions, it's always change the division sign into a multiplication sign and turn the fraction into its reciprocal. And that's all I have for you guys today.